Hello and welcome to Female Cricket Live, powered by radio. Match number 10 of the 2022 Commonwealth Games will be played today between India and Barbados at Edgbaston in Birmingham. The match will start at 10:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and you can catch all the live action on Sony Live app and Sony Sports Network. Now, before we start previewing match between India and Barbados, let us have a quick look at match number 9 that was played early in the day between Australia and Pakistan, which Australia went on to win by 44 runs. So batting first, Australia posted a formidable score of 160 for 2 in 20 overs, thanks to Talia McGrath, who scored an unbeaten 78, and Beth Mooney, who chipped in with an undefeated 70. On the other hand, for Pakistan, Sadia Iqbal and Fatima Sana were the lone wicket takers. In reply, Pakistan could only manage to score 116 for 8 in 20 overs as they fell shy of 44 runs in the end. It was Fatima Sana again with the bat for Pakistan who top scored with an unbeaten 35, while for Australia it was Talia McGrath again with the ball, picking up 3 for 13 in her 3 overs. Now, ahead of us, we have match number 10, which is one of the most exciting contests of this Commonwealth Games, given the fact that it is a must win match for both the teams, India and Barbados. And to preview this match, I have with me Sonia Dabir, Neha Shetty, and Anish D'Souza. So, Sonia Dabir has been a former India cricketer and she has played international cricket between 2010 and 2014. Then we have Neha Shetty, who is an avid cricket follower and a cricket podcaster. And we have Anish D'Souza, who is a cricket lover and member of the North Stand Gang, which is the sports enthusiastic community of Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. So I welcome all of you to Female Cricket Live.
Thank you so much.
Great. All right, so Sonia ma'am, let us begin with you. India had a wonderful run against Pakistan the other day. They won the match by 8 wickets. It was quite a convincing win. So, what are your first thoughts on India's performance in that game?
It was sheer dominance by India, and after the brilliant spell by Sneha Rana and Radha Yadav, there came the innings of Smriti Mandana, which was an authoritative innings by her, and she was looking in great touch, and I'm sure she will continue in today's match also. But it was a bit disappointing to see lose those 2 wickets. For 99, the way they started, the way they were going, I think they should have not lost those 2 wickets. But definitely, that's a good start, and dominance in that match was seen definitely from the Indian side.
Absolutely. I think Smriti Mandhana led the run chase from the front with an unbeaten 63. And as Sonia ma'am spoke about, Radha Yadav and Sneh Rana, both of them picked up 2 wickets each for the Indians. Now, Neha, moving on to you, on the other hand, Barbados had an embarrassing defeat, we can say, against Australia. They lost the match by 9 wickets after just getting all out for 64. So, what are your thoughts on Barbados' performance in that game?
Right. So for Barbados, that was certainly a poor outing. No excuses, right? Getting skittled for a meager 64 certainly doesn't augur well. I mean, you're playing against Australia, and that score will certainly not be enough to defend. I felt that they were just lacking on so many departments. They looked like such a different outfit from the first game they played versus Pakistan to what played against Australia. They just could not, counter the spin. They looked listless, and they just could not build on the partnership in spite of that kind of good start they had. I think except Haley Matthews, none of the other batters even got to double figures, which kind of shows how much they really, could not keep up with Australia in that match. And post the match, we saw Deandra Doughton's shock retirement that literally sent shockwaves across the cricketing circuit, right? So it really goes to show that the team environment is probably not in the best shape right now because your star player retiring, and it just is not looking good for them at the moment.
think I think as Neha has just touched upon Deandra Doughton's retirement. So Sonia ma'am, maybe I can have your thoughts on this and Doughton announcing her retirement at such a critical juncture. What do you think about this?
Actually, as mentioned rightly by Neha, the environment in the team, if that is the reason she has announced her retirement, and definitely things have to be looked at the West Indies cricket, because she is kind of a player, on a given day or even every day in every international match, she can change the course of the match single handedly. You give her 10 overs also, she will just take the score to some other level. So her retirement is definitely a big thing for West Indies team, because she was the kind of a backbone, or the much when they needed an acceleration, she was the person to go to. So it is definitely a big shock to, as rightly said by Neha, the cricketing circuit.
Okay, right. Now let us come back to India Barbados match. So Anish, We all know that Pooja Vastrakar is going to be available for the third match that India is going to play against Barbados tonight. So, how big a plus is that going to be for the Indian team? And who do you think will Pooja replace in the playing 11?
Yeah, it's going to be a very big plus. But the other issue is that everyone performed very well in the last match, so it's going to be a bit of a difficult call to decide who to drop. So just looking at the statistics alone, Meghna Singh could be one of the bowlers who is at a risk because her economy rate was above 10. So that could be one factor that would go into the decision. But I wouldn't I wouldn't know who would give up her place in this winning format.
Interesting. I think that is going to be a difficult call for the Indian team management to make after that emphatic win over Pakistan. And nobody likes to change the winning combination. But yes, we know that Pooja Vastrakar will have to find a place in the playing 11. But the difficult question is going to be who will she replace in the team? All right, Neha. So as I think you spoke about Barbados batting the other day against Australia, and we all know that they have been vulnerable to spin. And India, on the other hand, have some good spinners in the likes of Radha Yadav, Deepti Sharma, Sneh Rana. So, how do you think are the Barbados batters going to approach their batting against India today?
I think first up, Barbados should really, try to focus on this match and not, tend to look at the previous match outcome and, just let that haunt them. So first, they can obviously, pick the length of the ball, commit to playing the ball either on the front foot or on the back foot. Just don't try to, do everything. Versus Alana King, I just have no idea what they were trying to do. She was almost on the verge of a hat trick. So that goes to show, she was just on top of them throughout the game, right? And I think she was just phenomenal in the way she could make Barbados batters dance on her tunes. And I think Barbados really needs to use the leg side game a lot more. They need to use the sweep shots, the slog shots. They need to be more experimental when they're playing the spinners, which is something that was certainly lacking. And another factor is to exploit the power play. Your openers need to give you a good stand. And if you lose those early wickets, it's fine. Let the middle order come in, but make the most of the power play. That's when, you can score the bulk of your runs. The field restrictions are also much more relaxed, in comparison to the rest of the game. And another thing they can do is probably just hit the loose balls to the boundaries, right? Just don't look to, keep rotating strike. Look to make the most of the boundaries. T20 is a fast paced game. You have to make the most of those boundaries. And one more thing is the strike rate of the batters. Now, you can't be in the hundreds or in the 90s or 80s, right? You have to have a healthy strike rate of more than 100. So that is something they will be looking to, change in this match. And yeah, obviously playing spin better. Now, this goes without saying, they must have done their homework against the Indian spinners. So I hope we can get to see a better show and, them adapting to the conditions and certainly playing the spinners better.
I think it is going to be a tall task for the Barbados batters when they take on the Indian spinners tonight. And Sonia ma'am, as Anish just mentioned, that maybe Meghna Singh could make the way for Pooja Vastrkar. So, how do you see India's bowling performing in this match against Barbados? Do you see two pacers, three spinners, or some different combinations? What do you think India will do?
I think that's the only change they will be going to, because as I said previously, that Pooja has been an addition in that batting lineup as well. She is the one who can hit those long sixes. She can accelerate, and she is bowling really well. Unfortunate not to see her in those previous two matches because of her medical condition, but definitely that's the only change they'll be having, because Meghna Singh definitely is a very good swing bowler. She is doing well, but Pooja with her batting adds that extra bit. They can add that batting, acceleration, power hitting person. She can be that one person who can Harmanpreet tell and just go and whack without any pressure in the head.
I think, as Sonia ma'am has rightly pointed out, that Pooja offers her talent with the bat as well, in addition to the bowling that she has been doing. Anish, so we have seen two matches that India has played in the Commonwealth Games so far. First match, they lost to Australia by just 3 wickets. Then, second match, they won against Pakistan by 8 wickets. So, how do you assess India's performance in the Commonwealth Games so far?
I think it's like when all things come together together at the right moment, then it plays a big role. So, but against Australia, things did come together for 90% of the match. They just fell in the wrong direction at the end, and that was also because a small reason could be about the Harmanpreet's captaincy. Like she gave Renuka to finish her spell very early in the chase, which she corrected in the next game against Pakistan. So she learned from mistakes. So I think that plays a role as well.
Right. So, Neha, just similar to what we have seen for India, Barbados, they have also won one match and lost the other match. Of course, the last match they lost to Australia by 9 wickets, and first match they won against Pakistan by 13 runs, 15 runs rather. So, how do you assess Barbados' performance in the Commonwealth Games so far?
Right. I mean, it has been a topsy-turvy run for them so far. Pretty much similar results like India, losing to Australia, winning versus Pakistan. So now facing India will be like a virtual quarterfinal, like a knockout match of sorts. So they will have to put in their best performance and not let the horrors of that game versus Australia come to the fore. But that's the thing, right? Now, India has a better net run rate thanks to that amazing victory versus Pakistan. But again, Barbados is suffering because of that bad loss. So unless the match is like washed out because of rain, it won't make a difference, right? A win will definitely hand them like a pass to go into the semi-finals. But into the semi-finals. But again, I think Barbados will have to put up a better show. Like they'll have to be good in all the departments to actually give a fight to India.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is a must-win match for both the teams, and the team, as Neha has pointed out, winning this match will move to the semi-finals along with Australia from Pool A, while in Pool B, we have already seen New Zealand and England making their way to the semi-finals. So, Sonia ma'am, we have already seen 9 matches of the Commonwealth Games in women's T20I cricket being played. So, how do you assess the pitch and conditions at Edgbaston?
Actually, I've been seeing that all the teams batting first are winning the games. I think India is the only team who has been chasing and winning. So it's kind of a mixed thing for Indian team, because as I said previously that Harman likes to chase. So I think wicket or pitch will not matter to them much as far as they are chasing. But definitely, if they are going to bat first, looking at Dottin and their top three batting order, even though Dottin has announced her retirement, as I said before, that she is one player who can just take the game away. If Indian team is batting, they have to put up a very good score, and I don't think there's much of a change in the wicket. So pitch, because it's been used regularly, but there are getting scores 140 plus. So I don't think there's any much change to those wickets while you're batting or even when you're chasing.
Interesting. So I think as we have seen through the course of the Commonwealth Games, it seems to be a batting friendly wicket. Teams are going on to get 150 or 160 runs also, what we saw in today's match between Australia and Pakistan. So Anish, let me ask you that as we have been talking through this conversation that it is a must-win match for both the teams, India and Barbados. So according to you, which team will have more pressure of winning today? Will it be India or Barbados?
I feel it will be India because we come from India comes from a country where like they are followed to the to every eye, like over a crore people follow them. They and also they would be expected to win, seeing how Barbados were easily defeated by Australia in the last match. So they everyone would expect India to get a very easy win in this match. So they would probably have double the pressure.
Interesting, interesting. I think I agree with you, Anish, on this that India may have that extra pressure because before the start of the tournament, Barbados were considered to be like the underdogs because that is not the complete West Indian team that they are playing with. Only 7 out of the 15 players have played for West Indies, of course, captained by Haley Matthews. But one of the important names that we have been talking through this conversation is that of Deandra Doughton. So, Neha, let me ask you that in the 2 matches that Barbados have played, unfortunately, Doughton has not fired for them. So, what do you think should Doughton be doing differently today, and how important is it for Doughton to fire in today's match for Barbados' success?
Right. I think for Deandra Doughton, it will be crucial to, get those runs under her belt because we've seen she's such a class player. She plays all around the world and plies her trade in so many domestic leagues. But I'm not sure if she's going to feature in today's, playing 11 because she's announced her retirement, and it still remains unclear because her announcement note read that as of like 1st August or something. So we'll have to see if she features in or not. But I think, yeah, she's a class player. Agreed, she had like the two bad games, but I still expect her to come back stronger, because experience is something that you can never take away from a player. But I think even besides that, there are other players in the Barbados setup who can really step up and just complement her, build those good partnerships with her. So I think I will certainly be looking out for that.
Interesting. So just maybe what you are trying to say, Neha, like she announced her retirement as of 1st of August, but again in that post it was mentioned that she'll be continuing to playing for Barbados. So it is actually ambiguous whether she'll be featuring in today's match, whether this is an international fixture for her or a domestic one. So let us hope to see her, and of course a good game of cricket between India and Barbados. So now moving on to you. In the last match, we saw Sabineni Meghna coming in at number three, but in the first match, we saw Yastika Bhatia coming in at number three for India. So, what do you think should be India's batting order if they have to win against Barbados today?
I think that they should continue with S. Meghna because she is that player, who will continue the acceleration. Not that Yastika will not be continuing, but the kind of player Meghna is, the way she plays similar to what Smriti and Shefali does. So I think she should be continuing. But again, they might be thinking of that left-right combination in which Yastika might come in. So that is the only thing that will be, the management has to think about. Otherwise I don't think any change. I like Meghna will be coming definitely at 3 because I just said that she is one player, similar to Smriti and Shefali. Even if the power play is not there, she can hit those fours and sixes easily, and she is a very gutsy and fiery player, more compared to Yastika. But looking at the lefty righty combination again, they might send Yastika as well.
Interesting, interesting. Whether India will look at that left-right combination or would they want to persist with S. Meghna at number three? Let us see what happens in the match today. So I think as we are on the topic of India's batting, so Neha, let me ask you that India has many star-studded batters in Shefali Verma, Smriti Mandhana, Harmanpreet Kaur, just to name a few. So what do you think will Barbados bowlers try to do to keep the Indian batters at bay tonight?
Right, that is an interesting question because India kind of does struggle. The men and the women's team does struggle in English conditions, but I think the Barbados bowlers can, still make the most of the conditions. A, you bowl in the outside off stump region because that's a weakness for so many of our batters. They just tend to edge it a lot more. So that's one area they can definitely exploit. And then try to bowl a lot of short balls to Shefali Verma because she gets very tempted to hit those big boundaries. So, if you can get a nick or a top edge, I think that'll be like a big breakthrough for Barbados, because if she settles in, she's definitely going to take the game away. And another thing they should try to do is not let Smriti Mandana settle in, because again, she's a class player. She will look to make an impact because this is such an important game, and we've seen how she always steps up to the big matches, right? So they will try to not let Smriti. They should not let Smriti Mandana settle. That's the thing. And another thing they can do is probably just rattle the middle order. So if they get those early wickets, try to rattle the middle order, because then you have, I think, S. Meghna, Jemima Rodriguez, and Harmanpreet coming in, right? So try to, not let them settle. Don't like ensure there's a lot of dot balls. So I think these are some of the strategies that, Barbados can use to restrict our very strong Indian batting lineup.
Great, great insights by you, Neha, on that. Right, so I think we are just few minutes away from the start of India Barbados. So, Anish, if you can tell us the key matchups that you are looking at from the India Barbados perspective.
Oh, so I have many matchups in mind. So I'll just pick two of them. So one is if Deandra Rotan does play, I would like to see how she faces Renuka, because obviously Deandra is going to open and Renuka will be the opening bowler for India. So let's see how that works out. And also, when if Deandra Rotan does bowl, if she has to bowl against Hamanpreet and Smriti Mandana, how will that play out? So that's a
Interesting.
couple of matchups I would like to focus on.
Great, great. Thanks, thanks. So, Neha, any key matchups that you're looking at?
I would like to see how Haley Matthews, when she bowls, she comes up. I hope she comes in the sixth power play and she bowls to Smriti or maybe Harman in the later part. So it will be a very good contest to see.
Absolutely. Right, right. All right. So finally, before we start taking questions from our fans, Let us move to predictions, which is, of course, Neha's favorite part. So let us start with you, Neha. What do you predict?
Yes, absolutely happy to kickstart this segment. I think, India is high on confidence. The magnificent win versus Pakistan has certainly, got them on the right track, and the momentum is certainly with them. But Barbados, on the other hand, did have the good start versus Pakistan, but then again, we saw how they did falter against Australia. So I genuinely feel that India will, come out on top. This is not just my heart speaking, like on a logical basis too. I think India will come on top because I think they have their bases covered, and they have experience of playing in these type of knockout matches. So I think I'm giving India the slight edge in this one.
Interesting. All right. Anish, what are your predictions for today?
I also agree with Neha on this topic. Also because India, all their batters are in good form. So let's hope that they come to the game today and make it a easy win for India. I should not say easy. There will be some pressure, but let's just hope it will be easy.
Interesting. All right. Finally, Sonia ma'am, your predictions. If you can predict the score that either of the teams can put forth if they're batting first.
I was just not prepared for that, but yeah, definitely. I feel looking at the scores till now, I think 150 plus should be what India should be posting, because they have got, as rightly said by Anish, that they have almost covered all the places. Bringing in Snare and was the perfect thing they have done, and now if Pooja comes in, now they have the all rounder slot covered, middle order covered, and the bowlers covered. So they should be aiming 150 plus definitely if they bat first, and then chasing, they'll have to chase anything what they get.
All right. Right. Pretty simple answer that on the chasing front by Sonia ma'am. All right. So let us start taking some questions from our fans. Okay. Trippy Singh has this question for us. Barbados have shown two sides of their play: the resistive one versus Pakistan and the nervous one versus Australia. Which one today takes field will be interesting to see, and also how India treats them is equally important. Neha, would you like to answer this?
Right. I think, as Trippy has rightly pointed out, Barbados has, shown two sides. One was the resistive one, and the other one was the kind of nervy one versus Australia. It's very natural, when you're playing tough oppositions like Australia, it's easy to get overawed. But I think it will be interesting to see what face they will look to put today. I think there will be nerves because, come on, this is a knockout game, and this is Haley Matthews' captaincy debut series slash tournaments. She will be looking to make that impact as well. But I think they would definitely want to put in like a dominant performance and not let the nerves do a lot of talking. But it is an interesting matchup, and India too will be coming in with confidence. So we can expect an absolute, belter of a contest.
Definitely, I think, and I remember in the last World Cup, during the last World Cup that these two teams played during the 50 over World Cup, I think Haley Mathis and Deandra Doughton got off to a stellar start. So, just being an Indian fan, I don't want that to happen in today's game between India and Barbados. All right, so let us take the next question. Okay, Ali Ali, whatever it is, asking us, Sonia ma'am, can India bring Jamima at number three in place of S. Meghna if Pooja is included in the playing 11? Interesting. Sonia ma'am, what do you think?
I don't think so, because I think the role given to S. Meghna is accelerate and uh, go and hit every ball. Supposedly at number three, when you send Jemima, she takes that little bit of time, and when they have already got the acceleration from Smriti and Shefali, Meghna coming in at number three will continue that acceleration. Not that Jemima cannot, but when you have Harman, Yastika, Dipti, Pooja, I don't think there'll be any change in that batting lineup. Unfortunately, it was a bit harsh on Jemima, but Ace Meghna being that similar kind of an player as compared to Smriti and Shefali, she will be the number three batter today.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Sonia ma'am, for answering this. All right, can we take up the next question? Okay, Steve Carl is asking us, with Deandra Doughton now retired, expecting her to play with more freedom and ease 2.0, okay, on cards. Anish, would you like to answer this? What do you think about this?
Yeah, that is also one of the reasons why I wanted to see how Deandra Ruffin would play against Renuka. So now that she has announced her retirement, she will definitely come out all guns blazing. So we'll have to see how India can counteract that.
Interesting. Great. Neha, do you feel that Deandra Dottin 2.0 is what we'll be able to see today?
Absolutely. I think she will be coming in with not a lot of pressure. Plus, I also wanted to bring this point of how domestic leagues in women's cricket have become such a prized commodity, right? Recently, we saw the retirements of Lizelle Lee as well, where she spoke about the fitness issues and how South Africa wasn't valuing her enough. But now, even with Deandra Dottin bringing this issue, right, the team environment not being in play and, the cricketing board not supporting her enough, it really goes to show how domestic leagues are emerging. So yes, I think we will definitely see a 2.0 version of her, playing fearless cricket all around the globe. But I think if she does feature in today's match, she will be playing with, a lot more mental peace and calm.
Interesting. Great. Thank you, Anish and Neha, for answering this one. All right. Can we have the next question? Frank Mate is asking us, there is no secret in the fact that India haven't got over the line on big days. Today is again one such issue, and I guess if India today gets over the line, then the nerves will disappear forever. Interesting. Sonia ma'am, your thoughts on this?
See, it's a game of cricket, or in any kind of a game. All these pressure situations are going to pop up for every player or every team. Not that after this match it will disappear, but definitely they are going to go up. In that because they are in that super confidence after the Pakistan match. Every boxes are tick, and yeah, definitely sometimes it does happen that on big days they do not perform, or the team. It's part of the game. Winning and losing is part of the game. But now this team is, to be very honest, perfect 11 they have. As I said before, that if they include Pooja, then they have all the boxes ticked comparing to the previous two matches, or maybe that Australia match. So I don't think there will be any problem for this team to, even if this is a compulsory win match, must win match for the Indian team, they will be having any they will be taking any pressure as such, because they know they are following the process. They are focusing on the process of the game, and that is what all matters. When you look at Harman, Smriti, Shefali, these are seasoned campaigners. They definitely they will have pressure, but they know what has to be done in this pressure situation. So I don't think that, definitely they will have nerves. When you have such kind of must win matches, you tend to have pressure, let that be any player. But they know how to come back, or you know capitalize, or just handle that kind of a pressure or pressure situation. So they are into that what we can say, zone of handling things.
Exactly. So I feel that maybe the team that is able to handle pressure well today is going to sail through to the semi-finals. All right, I think we have one more question from our fan. Okay, Netha Chaudhary is asking us, do you think medals from other Indian counterparts would add pressure or go on to motivate our Indian cricketers? Interesting. Neha, would you like to answer this?
Absolutely. I think, having seen how India has been doing really well in the Commonwealth Games, like you would get motivated seeing your Indian counterparts. I think you might have like 1% pressure, but the rest 99% is just pride. And, it would definitely motivate, because we've seen how our cricketers have gone and watched the hockey matches and a lot of other sporting disciplines as well, right? So I think it would just go on to motivate the cricketers. And I think even in so many press conferences and interviews, like Harmanpreet Kaur and the other cricketers have spoken about how they are aiming for the goal. They really want to bring glory to the nation, right? So I think this is the perfect platform, and motivation is the way to go.
Great, great. Thanks, Neha, for answering this one. Okay, I think we have one more question from a fan. If we can take that up, please. Okay, Bharadwaj is asking us, remember watching West Indies dancing when South Africa defeated India in World Cup 2022? Time for a sweet revenge? Yes, so I would like to have all of you speaking on this. So, Anish, let us start with you.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a good time for revenge. So it's going to be like our ladies will be dancing tonight after defeating West Indies. So that's definitely going to happen. I'm sure India going to win today, and it will. along with them, we'll also be dancing in our streets or bedrooms, whichever.
Absolutely, just waiting to dance after the match. All right, Neha, what do you think about this?
I honestly feel it isn't playing on the minds of the Indian cricketers as much because, I mean, it's old memories, right? It happened some time back. But certainly, if India does win today, it will be a sweet win and, in a way, a sweet revenge as well. So, yeah, just looking forward to a interesting contest, I guess.
Sonia ma'am, are you eager to see Harmanpreet Kaur and all dancing after the win?
As I agree with Neha actually, but because it is a very old memory, not very, of course, but an old memory. And after that, they've been playing lot many games, and this is a completely different atmosphere or a different stage. But definitely, I would think they will be going in for revenge. But more than Barbados, they will be taking revenge against West Indies. I feel they
Right,
will be happy
right.
to do that.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for answering this interesting question from Bharadwaj. All right. So, once again, thank you, Sonia ma'am, Neha, and Anish, for taking out time and previewing this exciting contest between India and Barbados. The match will start at 10:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and all the fans can catch the live action on Sony Live app and Sony Sports Network. So, we'll be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. IST to preview the match between South Africa and Sri Lanka. So do join us for a conversation tomorrow at 2 p.m. and send us your questions using hashtag Female Cricket Live. Thank you.